Dear sister, welcome to the Dear Sister podcast tonight, sisters. I've been looking forward to this show. I've been looking forward to doing a live show just for my sisters. Welcome to the Dear Sister podcast. My name is Christian. I also have a partner to this podcast called the Dear Brother podcast. I've been thinking about doing a live show for a while just for the sisters, ladies only, just to talk. I have a great guest tonight. We have a wonderful topic tonight. Wednesday. Every other Wednesday, I'm going to try to go live with a great sister so we can talk about life and talk about some of the issues of sisterhood. We're going to challenge you. We're going to go in tonight, all right? Tonight's topic, my. Tonight's topic is, why do I keep on choosing the same man in a different body? Some of y'all have been through that. Some of y'all have not. We're live tonight. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Facebook. And we're live on the Dear Sister podcast on YouTube. Make sure that you hit the make sure that you go to YouTube tonight, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Sisters, we're going to get into this thing tonight. Why do I keep on choosing the same man in a different body? If that's you, just go in the chat right now. The chat is wide open. You can chat from any platform you're on right now, and I can see the chat. But if you've been through that, just put a one, or tell me, yeah, that's me. Some of y'all out there been through that before. It's like, look, you want to fall in love, you want a good guy, you want to have a great relationships, but it seems like you keep on staying in this pattern where you keep on choosing the same guy in a different body. We're going to talk about this tonight. Tonight, I have a dear sister named Julia Husbands with me tonight. She is a transformational coach. She's an ordained minister. She's a speaker, and she's a founder of a great organization called the Kingdom Citizens Network, LLC. She's known for her dynamic voice and the women's empowerment. She also equips women in the faith and to break unhealthy patterns in their lives. We have a great show tonight. We have a great sister. She's a visionary. She has Kingdom Style magazine. She's also a co-author of a great book called Dating with a Twist. It is going to be a great show tonight. Let me bring her on right now. Let me bring her in the room right now. And so we can talk to this dear sister. Jewel, how are you tonight, my friend?
Hello, sir. Hello, and everybody. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
It is an honor to have you. I mean, this is a topic, and when we talked, when I invited you on the show, I said, "What you passionate about?" And you said, "Look, I want to talk about this right here." And so I took your topic, and we put a whole show together tonight. We're going to talk to some sisters tonight. Again, those of y'all that just coming in, we're streaming live on Instagram. We're streaming live on Facebook. And we're also streaming live on the Dear Sister podcast on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button, sisters. Let's get into it. Let's go right in. Julie, why do you think that our dear sisters out there, why do you think that women seem to choose the same type of guy even after heartbreak sometimes? I know men do it too, but tonight is the Dear Sister podcast.
I believe, or I have found, it's familiar. It's easy to go back to what's familiar. And one of the reasons that some of us women go back to what's familiar is because we haven't addressed the issues in our soul that got us to that place of familiarity in the first place, right? So we haven't taken the time. That's number one. So familiarity is number one. Number two is not wanting to be alone. Not wanting to be alone. And one of the things that I share with my community, my single community, is that, excuse me, there's a difference between being alone and lonely. Two different. They're not. They're distinct. They're distinct, okay. Right? So if you're lonely, you're gonna look for something to handle that loneliness, right? So if you're choosing the same guy over and over again, you're going around the same mulberry bush. You're gonna keep choosing that guy because of the loneliness state that you are in. And when you're lonely all the time, consistently, you still haven't addressed the stuff that's causing that. You haven't addressed the root cause, right? So you're gonna keep going to this saying, "Oh, I'm lonely. I don't like I don't like being by myself." Da 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 da. Whatever people say, whatever women
Mm.
say, whatever their excuse is,
Right.
right? And then alone means you're single. You might live alone, but you're not alone if you're a believer, and that's on
Mm-hmm.
the spiritual side,
Right.
right? But you're not alone, and if you're alone, it doesn't mean that because you're alone, there's nothing to do. Let me
Mm.
just raise my no. I'm gonna raise both hands. It's, there's always something for
Yeah.
me to do. There's always something for me lonely, or
Mm.
even feel that. And I'm being real. I don't have time
Yeah.
in the day, right?
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you
Lastly, I'm
something right
gonna
quick.
say, okay,
Let me
okay.
ask you something. What does loneliness feel like for a woman? Because loneliness is a thing, right? But I think the
Mm-hmm.
feeling is different. Like men and women can experience the same thing, but the feeling of it is different. What is it like for a woman? What is that like? Especially say between the ages of 35 and 50. Like what is that
I,
experience like for a woman?
right. So let's say in a 50-year-old woman, or if you're me, a 56-year-old woman, right?
Mm,
So a 35-year-old might say, "Where are my friends? Do I have
mm,
friends? How come nobody's calling me? How come
mm,
nobody is reaching out? Nobody's texting me. Nobody's blowing up my DM. Da 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 da." For a 56-year-old, for a 50-year-old, for a 45
mm-hmm,
year old, it's
mm-hmm.
different, right? So we could find something to do in our loneliness.
Okay.
We can find something to do. We can find some place to go.
Mm-hmm,
And again, like I said earlier, it's different for every woman. It's different. So what I might consider loneliness to me might not be loneliness to another woman that's even my age or even lesser in
mm,
age, right? It might not be
okay.
the same. It won't be the same actually. So it
Mm,
differs. It differs from woman to woman. And I think actually, Christian, a lot of people get the two mixed up,
mm,
loneliness and alone.
okay.
So if you're alone, you're single.
Mm,
You do a lot of things alone. You go to the
okay.
market alone. You get on the
Mm,
plane alone. If you drive alone, unless you have children, right?
right. Right.
So it differs. It differs for every woman, because
Is that is
everybody defines it.
I got you. I got you. Let me ask you this. Um do you think for some women, some of my sisters out there, do you, and we got people in the chat. Listen, I want to let everybody know the chat is wide open, sisters. Y'all can jump right in at any time with questions, with statements, with stories. We're gonna get into it tonight. Um, Let me ask you this. Do you think
Mhm.
that for some women, familiar pain is sometimes more comforting than unknown healing? Like this is painful, but I know it.
Ah,
I understand this, right? And
yeah,
it's like I,
yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
it's
I
the
don't know what
devil,
healing feels
right?
like, right? I don't know what the journey of healing feels like. But it's like, do I keep on getting
Yeah.
with the same type of guy because I understand it? It may not be good for me, but I understand it. Do you think some people, some sisters are in that situation?
I I would say yes. It's the space
Mm,
that they're in that they know, right?
yeah.
That space of, I know this, know what happens
Hmm.
here. I know what happens when I do this. I know what I
Mm-hmm.
I know what happens when I do X.
Hmm.
You understand?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Woman gets out of that space and start walking towards healing, it'll be a different feeling. It'll be a different space. She'll now be in a place of wholeness. Um, of
Mm.
course, you know, there's this cliche out there that says, follow the process or something like that. Trust the process is what
Yeah.
it is what
Trust the
people say.
process. Uh-huh.
I say trust the God of the process, because
Hmm.
day-to-day processes change, but God's process is God's process. And God's process has an end to it, an expected
Hmm.
end to it, right?
Right.
That's going to make or cause you to show up even differently when you get to the end of that of his process. Because
Yeah.
out here in singledom, you can go from process to process without God and end up somewhere else. You understand what I'm
Mm.
saying? So we have to
I got you.
trust the
Uh-huh.
God of the process in our healing.
Hmm.
We have to, okay, let me back up. Participation in our healing journey is required.
Hmm.
Participation in our healing journey is required.
Hmm.
We cannot walk in our healing in our whole space without going through that process God for us for healing. And we do it without him, especially if you're a believer. If you're a believer, don't try to be out here trying to save yourself. It ain't going to work. And I know that's not
Right.
good English,
Right.
but it ain't going to work.
Right. Let me get into the chat right quick. Simple Love 444. Loneliness and a woman shows up as her reserving, pursuing aspects of life until she has a partner. Example, purchasing a home, moving to a new city, traveling to a dream destination. Let me read that again. Loneliness in a woman shows up as her reserving, pursuing aspects of her life. Um, until she has a partner. See, I think that sisters shouldn't wait. I don't think y'all should wait for nothing. That would be my advice from brother. I don't think sisters should wait for anything. My mother always said this, and she taught my sister this. She always said that a woman shouldn't go from her parents' house to her husband's house. That there should always be a space in between for a woman where she
Yeah.
has her own,
Yeah.
she learns her own,
Yeah.
she embraces her own. Because eventually, if she goes from one person caring for her to the next person caring for her, there's no self discovery. So then the question is, what do I have to offer? What do I have to give? Am I worthy of anything? Or do I just become someone else's
Mm-hmm.
servant? And God knows it's okay to serve your husband, but the danger is for a woman to never have developed a life for herself and then get with a man who doesn't want her to develop a life for herself. That's dangerous, because then
It is.
you just become a placeholder for the needs of people, whoever it is, whether it was your mother, your girlfriends, and now it's a husband, and you never really got to embrace yourself. And I think that's a dangerous space for women to be in. I really do. I think women shouldn't wait for any. Buy that house. Go to the nations. Go see the world,
Mm-hmm.
because this is the truth. You'll find your man on the journey where you're going. I think if you wait for a man, you'll wind up trying
Mm-hmm.
to drag a man on the journey instead of just going on it and meeting him
Yeah.
as you go. Yeah.
Yes.
Um.
Excuse me. I totally agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree with
Um.
you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. No. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I agree with you totally. Like, ladies that are watching and will watch on the replay on YouTube, if you do not have a passport, don't walk, run, run. Somebody say run, run,
Mm-hmm.
and get you a
Mm-hmm.
passport. Get you your good real ID as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's the space that we're living in right now. If you do not have a passport, get one so that you can
Get it.
begin to start traveling, okay? Intentionally. Yes, simple love.
Mm-hmm.
Intentionally get that passport. If you don't want to go international yet, listen. The United States has how many states, brother? I mean, come on.
A whole 50.
Come on. A whole 50.
Go see them.
A whole
Go see them.
listen. Go see
Yeah.
them all if you can.
Yeah, because I think all women want a cultured man, right? Most women want a
Mm-hmm.
cultured man, a man who's been somewhere and knows something. Well, in order to meet that man, you got to go somewhere and know something. Because the truth of the matter is this: if you don't go somewhere and see something, you'll never attract that man, because a man who's cultured is not attracted to a woman who has none. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's why I say,
Mm-hmm.
ladies, sisters out there, please go live so that you're attracting the right mate. I think if you're sitting down waiting, any bum becomes attractive, because now you're not looking for companionship, you're looking for company, and that's dangerous. That's where I think a lot of women drop the ball on their own life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me go to the
Yeah.
chat right quick. I
And
put this
listen.
question. Um,
Go ahead.
mhm. No, go ahead. No, please.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm ready. No, no,
Oh,
no.
put it
You're
up.
good. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Andre Cartwright, my main man, brilliant brother. Is it possible that some may desire progress without desiring the necessary associated healing? What you
Yes.
think, Jewel? Hmm.
I think it's possible because people choose.
Hmm.
I think it's possible because we choose. We're given free will, right? Now the here lies the part that isn't going to be popular, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you choose to desire the process without desiring the necessary association, you have to own that choice. You have to own that
Mm.
choice. I'll say it one more time for the people in the virtual back. You have to own that choice. Whatever happens when you make that choice is on you,
Mm.
right? It's on you. So it's definitely possible that some may desire the progress without desiring the necessary associated healing. But
Mm.
but are you paying attention to the fact that the bottom can fall out possibly? You
No,
The
no,
bottom
I
can
feel you.
fall out.
Yeah, because
So
it's nothing.
so
It's
it's
nothing worse than, yeah. Our delay. We got about a second delay that's driving me crazy because I want to. I think it is sad to get where you got to go and not have what you need to stay there. And I think that kind of speaks to what Andre is saying. Like you said, the bottom will fall out, and then it's not success. It's not success if you get there and don't have all the necessary tools to be where you need to be. That's a very good question. Um, Hey, Rakia, thanks for being here, my sister. I'm glad you're in the building. I'm glad you're in the building. Simple love. I agree 10,000%. Don't wait. Live intentionally. Yes, 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 yes. Rakia says run. She's on your comment, Julia, about going to get that passport. Run and go get it. Don't mess around. Um, Simple love. Drop a bar, brother. Not looking for companion. Okay, so Julie, you got it. This is what we do on our show. Anytime somebody drops a bar, we drop a beat. All right, and so in honor,
okay. Drop that beat.
drop that beat in honor of simple love. She say, "I dropped the bar. We drop the beat." And I'll say the bar again. A lot of sisters are looking for company, not companion. You're not looking for companionship, you're looking for company. And that's where things get dangerous for a lot of sisters. Because then that company is fun at first. But then when you realize you can't connect with that person, it's a dangerous place to be. And it's hard to get a man out your life
Yeah,
who you're only trying to have fun with. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't set yourself up to fail.
Mm. Mm. Rashana Wallace, hey sister. Don't set yourself up to fail. Ugh, that's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
That's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Rashana, well, And this is why I've been asking the Lord to prepare me for where I want to go. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. FMJ in the building, definitely a bar. My guy, we dropping bars. Anybody could drop a bar. If you drop a bar in the comments, you get a beat. That's the reward for a bar. Everybody, go on YouTube and hit that like button. It lets YouTube know we got a heck of a show going right now, and it sends people to the show. If you're on Facebook right now, go to YouTube. The Dear Sister Podcast on YouTube. You won't miss a thing. We're streaming live there. We're streaming live on Instagram. Let me go on Instagram and see. We got folks on Instagram. Good stuff. Everybody, people in here enjoying the show. Let's go here for a second, Julie. Let's see here. Because we started off, we talked about why do women keep choosing the same partner. We talked about the loneliness. We talked about different issues about that. Let's talk about this for a quick moment. I really firmly believe in the difference between chemistry and compatibility. And I think some people can get caught up in feeling chemistry with someone, but not really paying attention to whether women have the actual compatibility with somebody. Because it's easy to make a sister feel good. It's easy to make a sister feel wanted. But just because I just dropped the podcast last week on the Dear Sister Podcast, talking about just because a man pays you attention doesn't mean he has intention. So I want to hear your thoughts on the difference between having chemistry with someone and being compatible with them. What's your thoughts on that?
So chemistry is good. It's a good thing, right? You like them, they like you. Like there's certain things about them that you like. There's certain things about you that they like. That's great. That's the feel good, what I call the feel good, right? But the compatibility part, are you compatible? Are the two of you compatible in values? Values. What are your values? What are his values? Earlier, brother, you mentioned a possibility sometimes that women, if they don't choose properly, they will end up dragging a man, right? And not dragging as in cussing him out. I'm talking about having to pull him to where you are and where you want to go. Right? So if he's not compatible, I'm talking to the ladies, if he's not compatible in values, how are y'all going to rock it out together? Because, I think we get those two words confused. Chemistry and compatibility they're not the same thing.
Not at all.
Okay? That they're not the same thing. So when you're out here talking about ladies, when you're talking about compatibility with your friends, make sure they know how to define that. So a lot of people might say, some people might say, oh, he makes this, I make this. He has this, I have that. They go by the things.
Yeah.
Right? The tangible things. But your core values are the things that are going to keep you together, along with friendship, because relationships have to have friendship as the foundation to hold the whole thing up, right? In order to move forward together and build something, those core values got to match or be really, really close. Because if not, you get married and it's 6 months to a year in and you're looking at him and he's looking at you like, what are we saying? What are we doing? Like, I don't know you. Yeah. She's saying, I don't know you either, sir. Like, how did we get here? Yeah. Right? So what am I saying? You can't just go, sisters, you can't just go by the 6 digits that he tells you, the 6 figures that he tells you that he makes. You can't just go by the fact that he's 6'5" and bald. You can't just go by the fact that, oh, he has his own place. Are you compatible in values? Period.
Yeah.
And brothers, same thing for y'all. Be compatible in values. What's she working on? You got to be working on
Something.
something.
That's a
Something.
fact.
Look, and every
Something.
sisters, can I just go here? Can I just go here?
Please.
Listen, first of all, I'm Caribbean, so I'm yeah, I'm I'm Caribbean born and raised. I know I don't sound like it, but I am. So all I know is to call a spade a spade.
Yep.
Sisters, my queens. Don't overlook the brother that makes $50,000 a year and treats you very, very well.
Mm.
Because I promise you, that brother has a plan. But if you keep going after the dude that has six figures, but he doesn't know how to treat you because I'm not going to use the N word because a lot of people call men narcissistic and all men are not narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
If he does not have the tools to treat you well and he's making $6,000, six figures a year, why are you with him?
Yeah.
Because he's going to show you how he treats women before he marries you. You just need to see the signs. You need to be paying attention to how he's treating you.
Mm.
Values, values, values. What does he
Yeah.
value? What are his values? What are your values?
What does he value? That is such a strong thing because and sisters, listen, you have to know what he values, not just what he likes. Because likes
Mm-hmm.
change. You can like this today and not like it tomorrow. Values don't. Like, what's his value, right? What because his value is based on what he values. Sisters, I really want you to catch that. What a man values shows you his value. Let me get in the chat. They in the building tonight. Everybody on YouTube, hit that like
Yeah.
button. Hit that subscribe button, y'all. Let me see. Let me go back. They in the building tonight. All right. Simple love 444. Rashana, I think God has given us what we need to go where he is sending us. Uh-huh. The prayer is, God, reveal to me what you have placed within me and allow me. Um, I don't know why they're cutting off your statements. But I totally agree with this. And listen, y'all, the more you have a hold on your purpose, you start allowing men in your life based on what your purpose is. The worst thing a woman can do is connect with a man not knowing what her purpose is, what she wants to achieve. Because then you just become a figment of his imagination, or you start living out his imaginations. And then you look up and don't even know who you are inside of a relationship. I'm just his girl. No, you were something before you was his girl. I'm writing a new book. I got one out, sisters, right now. Let me pause right now for the cause. I got my book out, sisters. You can go on christianwinners.com and buy my book for women, The Soul of Sarah. I talk about how women have two wombs, one in her mind, one in her mind, one in her body, and how you got to protect your ear because women have a capacity to birth anything she takes in, negative or positive, right? And so I teach women how to protect this, how to guard this in order to release themselves to receive all that God has for them. That's on christianwinners.com, sisters. If you want that book, you can grab it tonight. I'll make sure that you have a signed copy going out to you. But there's a book I'm writing now for sisters, Julie, that it's about the relationship that Eve had with God before she met Adam. Now, nobody talks about this, but I really paused and I really wanted to look at this thing. When God took the rib from Adam, the Bible says that Adam was asleep and God took her over here and created her, right? And so no one's convincing me that God didn't talk to Eve as he formed her. Nobody's convincing me that God didn't prepare Eve for this garden and this man she was about to meet. And I think women and I think especially in religious situations, we rush women to meet Adam, but we never tell her to pause to see what God said to her before Adam, right? Because she could handle the garden. God prepared her. And I think in a lot of situations, especially again religious situations, women find their value in marriage and in children, and then they lose who they are in it all, and that's a burden to me. Let me see. Uh, that's what I had to learn. Okay, this is Rashonda talking to your statement about values, Julie. That's what I had to learn. Them core values of a man. You're right, core values, and you got to have some too. Um,
Yeah.
my good brother in the building, FMJ. Chemistry is great, but compatibility requires intentionality. Yes, sir. You can find chemistry by accident. Yee. Compatibility requires effort. I
Come on,
think
sir.
that right there, when you drop a
Yeah.
bar, my friend, we drop a beat on it. FMJ, good stuff, my good brother. Good stuff right there. Great stuff. Let me see.
Can I say
I love.
something to
Sure,
FMJ?
please. Mm-hmm.
FMJ, brother, 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 let me tell you something. Please preach it to all of your friends. I mean, text it, email it, have a sit down with your friends. Tell your brothers. Chemistry is great, but compatibility requires intentionality. Listen, the majority of the women out here, we don't have time for games. We don't. Intentionality, FMJ. Tell your brothers, tell your cousins, your uncles, tell them, please. And then if they don't want to hear from you, tell them to come see me in my inbox and we can talk about it. Cause yeah, for real.
You straightening folks out in your inbox, Julie.
I'm just, I told you I'm Caribbean.
Yes, and I told you my grandmother was Caribbean, and yeah, no, it was just straight lace, no chaser. Rashawn
It's
in the
in
building,
love
changing
though. It's
perspective.
in love.
Mhm. It is definitely because
It's
we
in
want to see
love.
people straight. Some people legit don't have
Yeah.
morals or values, and that's scary. Yes, it is. A lot of people don't have none, and a lot of people weren't given any. This is the thing. Somebody has to show you morals. Somebody has to show you. And I think one of the things you ladies are out there, you sisters, my sisters, one of the things you're dealing with, and men are dealing with too, is that a lot of people you're trying to date and fall in love with didn't have no direction on how to be. A lot of people out here guessing on what to be. And then you have a man who's guessing about who he is as a man. You got a woman, nobody taught her womanhood. You got a man, nobody taught him manhood. And then they're going to come together and they're going to make a baby. Well, now you got two lost people creating a child, and now that child don't know where to go neither. I think the issue is the family structure has been so broken down that it's not producing people that can produce families. You know, we produce. I said this the other day. My fear, Julie, is that in 10 to 15 years, that children will grow up not even knowing what a mother and a father home is
Mm.
because it's becoming so just regular now not to have both parents that there's going to be a generation of children that grow up not even knowing the concept. Just like little kids don't know what a tape or a CD is. I think that's starting to happen with families where it's just you don't even know what that is to have a mom and a dad together.
Yeah. And it's sad. It's
It
sad.
is.
But I believe there's hope
Mm-hmm.
though. I'm choosing to believe
Yeah.
there's hope, and here's why. Every and I know this is a broad statement.
Mm-hmm.
Every man or woman that are believers, because I can't speak for anyone that's an unbeliever. Every
Mm-hmm.
man or woman that's a believer should have a mentor or an accountability person. If you have a seasoned, not just some drive by night mentor, a
Mm-hmm.
mentor that is going to call you out on things in love, they're going to give you strong correction,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to teach you how to navigate. So for example, if you come from a home where a mother wasn't present, so your grandmother raised you and she was your
Mm-hmm.
mother, or if you come from a home that a father wasn't present, and so that did some things. That did some things in the heart and in the mind for you.
Mm-hmm.
Find a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm talking about somebody like yourself, brother. Okay, somebody with that's God, not just godly, but Jesus is their center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which means, what does that mean? Jesus is your center. That means that you love Jesus more than you love having a wife, children, a six-figure job, a car, a house, all the tangible
Yeah.
things, right? Investments.
Mm-hmm.
Love him more, all that stuff will come.
Yeah.
And that mentor, yes, abandonment and rejection too.
Mm-hmm.
All the trauma, right? There is a person in the earth that can mentor you. A mentor will walk with you through the ups, the downs, the lefts, and the right.
Yeah.
Especially, and hear me, a sent mentor. This is a God mentor, not somebody you just, some influencer on social media that you think, because every influencer is not a leader.
Mm.
Mentors are leaders,
Mm.
and they know
Yeah.
how to navigate. They know how to navigate through all of the muck and the mire. They know
Mm-hmm.
when you're lying, because if they're if they're centered in Jesus and Jesus is the center, they know when you're lying, because the Holy Spirit going to tell them.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is a whole snitch. Y'all can put that in the comments. The Holy Spirit is a snitch.
The truth. That's the
Okay?
truth. Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
truth.
And yeah, and I think, and I said this to a group of men maybe a day or so ago. We need to all invite someone in our lives who you give permission to check you.
Yes.
Like someone who you give permission, not someone who just barges in your life, but someone who you say, you know what, I'm wide open for you to check me when I'm talking crazy, right? Because it's a big argument online, right? Not that online is a real thing, but there, I'll tell you this. My father said to my mother one time, I was maybe 10, and I didn't understand what he was talking about then because I was 10, but I understood it when growing up. And I heard him say this. He said, "Are you ever wrong about anything? Do you do anything wrong? Or is it just me?" Julie, a lot of men feel like that in relationships with women. And like, because we become the whipping post for everything. And like I said, my father said this when I was 10. I'm 45 now. So I've lived out, I didn't understand it then, but I've lived out that in relationship where it's like, I this show has never been about throwing anybody under the bus because it's grown folk stuff.
Yeah.
But I've also heard women psychologists say that women do have a great problem with admitting wrong. What's your thoughts about that?
It depends on the woman. It depends on the woman, right?
Well, let me say this. Let me say this, and then I'll give it right back to you. The one
Okay.
psychologist said this, and it was so strong. She said she believed that a lot of women don't want to admit wrong because a lot of women don't want to deal with shame. And to admit wrong makes her feel shame. And so she rather never admit wrong than feel the pain of shame. I thought that was very powerful.
It is. But if you don't admit wrong, how are you going to grow? How are you going to grow and become? How are you going to heal from the shame? How? How are you have, look, that's why I said it depends on the woman, because there are women that will admit the wrong, and there are other women that are afraid. to admit the wrong, right?
So
But at the end of the day, don't we want to be whole though? But you got to deal with the inward part with that.
so let me ask you this. What does a man do in a situation with a woman where she's so afraid to admit wrong or afraid of the shame that comes with that? How can you build a relationship? Now this is the thing. Let me go deeper. Some women don't want to hear any truth about themselves. Some women don't ever want to hear the truth about themselves from a man. It's like my grandma can say that, but my husband can't. So then, so,
Lord help us, Lord.
right now listen. Women can deny this to be a truth, but listen, like I said, I brought up the situation with my mother and my father because in my mind, my mom was angel extraordinaire. But I learned something that day, and I felt that because I've actually had to say that in relationships I was in. Like, yo, do you do anything wrong ever? And it's like, I think it just goes back to the point. I don't want to stay on that point because I don't want my sisters to feel like I'm trying to offend them. But like you said, how do you heal if you don't want to hear anything from anybody? How do you heal? Or how do you have a happy relationship when you don't want to? I also think there's a group of sisters out there who've gotten with the wrong man and she can admit wrong because he's going to bash her over the head with it. And that's a scary place for a woman, I can imagine.
Yeah. But again, it's everything starts with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything starts with us. Participation is required.
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay, I'll say it like this. If there's a thing, whatever that thing is, if you have a man telling you, or your man is telling you, asking you, are you ever wrong about anything?
Mm-hmm.
If she's not in a place where she can come back and say, no, I don't think I'm wrong on everything, and admit that she doesn't think she's wrong about, because it's about owning it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to own it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And at the end of the day, you said it earlier, we grown folk, right? Grow up. All the way up. But you can't grow up, like I said earlier, growing and becoming.
Yeah.
Because we're always growing and becoming, whether we're 35, 45, 65, 75. At every level, something is going to cause you to grow and become.
Mm.
So if you're over here at 45, 50 years old, and you still don't know how to act, or not, you don't know, you don't want to, how are you going to ever be in a secure relationship? That relationship that we desire so much, that great relationship that we desire. Great relationships require work. Much work. And we can't have half a person plus a whole person. That ain't gonna work. We need two wholes.
Yeah.
We need two wholes. WHOLES. We need two wholes. Two whole people. Now, we're not talking about perfection, because relationships are supposed to grow too. Right? I say it like this: SHIP as in Peter. A ship is designed, a natural ship is designed to take you somewhere. So if you are in a relationship, and the relationship, you the girl, you the woman, he the man, in the relationship, there's no growth, it's not going anywhere, then we might as well just call it a situationship and be done with it.
Yeah.
Okay. We're very quick to call two people being together a relationship. But is the relationship moving? Is it growing? Is it becoming?
Mm-hmm.
Even with the bumps in the road. Because
Yeah.
when you have two whole people that are willing to admit their wrongs,
Mm-hmm.
because they made a decision. We're not talking about perfection. We're talking about people that are grown up in their stuff, dealing with their
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they now have this person that they have chosen to be together. They have chosen to be with each other, and they have
Mm-hmm.
established some ground rules, aka the foundation. Because
Right.
remember, the relationship is going to sit on top of the foundation, just like with a
Mm-hmm.
house. Okay.
Yeah.
So, whatever you do at the fundamental level in your relationship, whatever you say you're going to build, then you have to stick to that, come heck or high water.
Hmm.
If not, it's going to fall apart.
Right.
You
Right.
cannot be in a relationship and want to be married, and you cannot admit your wrongs. You you
Tell it.
you can't.
You can't. It don't work. It don't
It's
work.
not going to work. It's going to fall apart. You're going to be arguing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Then somebody ends up cheating. Then it becomes a
Mm-hmm.
whole big thing. Listen,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen that are on here listening to us, life is going to life. But if you have found someone that cares deeply about you, cares about your soul, cares about your mind, cares about your heart, and you do the same for them, when you
Mm-hmm.
meet, when you come together and you have a conflict, you should be able to say, babe, that's on me. I own that. I am so sorry. I didn't say that correctly. I didn't mean to say it that way. I will
Mm-hmm.
work on that, because you can't just say, I am sorry, but don't say, I will work on it.
Mm.
Growing and becoming. Growing and becoming.
Become. Yeah. Change your perspective. She said, yeah, women say men need to heal, but they not healing themselves. You don't hear too many sisters say that. You might get in trouble with the sisterhood for saying that. Let me see.
Got to work on you. You got
Got to
it,
work on you.
because we are the first partaker of our own lives. Everything that
Yeah.
happens in our life happens to us first.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we going to love somebody if we can't love ourselves, because we
Mm,
have all of these unaddressed issues in our
mm.
soul just
Yeah.
sitting there? How?
Yeah. We can't. We can't. Because I think some relationships we come in looking for someone to soothe us instead of become a mirror for us. And I think that
Yeah.
it's like soothe all my pain. No, that's not what relationship is for. And you know what? I'm getting to a point now where I think that relationship is a word, but I think really when he starts thinking about this thing in terms of partnership, then you don't just jump into it, because now you can be in a relationship with just about anybody, but a partnership is a lot different. And I think it goes back to your point earlier when we talk about values and all that kind of sort of thing. We got a partner on that. See, relationship, I can live in my
Mhm.
world, you live in your world, and we have fun when we get together. But partnership, that means we're building something that counts together. And that's a lot different. And I think, I'm not saying we need to change the word to partnership, but I think we need to come into a mental alignment that when I'm getting with somebody, it's a partnership, not just a
Yeah.
relationship. So it means,
Yeah.
what are we building? Because we win together, we win. We lose together, we lose. Let me get to some of these comments. Let's jump on these comments so we can address the people. We too grown not to be taking accountability and having healthy conversations. Even when it's hard. Dad, you were the first person to make me have a hard conversation with my mother and father. I remember that. And you grew major because of that. I'm very proud of you. You are in a totally different place in life because you did that. Let me see. On simple love, admitting wrong will require a person to confront a reality or a way of thinking that has gotten them by in life. Whew, survival. Resulting in them needing to relinquish cultural agreements and allegiance. I'm about to leave my chair on that one. I think, my God. Yee. That's big.
Come through, simple
Let me
love.
read that again.
Come through, simple love. Come
Admitting
through.
wrong will require a person to confront a reality or a way of thinking that has gotten them by in life. Survival. A lot of people survive and are not living. Such a brilliant point. Resulting them in needing to relinquish cultural agreements and allegiances. Eee. What a
Yes.
point.
Yes.
What a point. What a point.
Cultural agreements and allegiances is a dangerous space.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You're so right, simple love. I'm telling you. It's a dangerous space. And as far as survival is concerned, we're not called to that. But we have to know that we're not called to that, number one. And then number two, be willing to make the change. Again, we're not negating that lives, that trauma happens, that all households are not the same. We're not negating those things. But we cannot keep falling back on the cultural stuff if we want to go somewhere else from where we are now.
Yeah. Yeah. So strong.
We can't use it as a crutch is what I'm saying.
Very good point. Very good point.
But that choice has to come from the individual. That choice has to be made by the individual. Again, participation is required. We must participate in our own rescue. We must. I'll say it one more time for the people in the back. We must participate in our own rescue. Ask me how I know. Thank you, Pastor Sean Strickland, for teaching me that.
We must participate in our own rescue. I had to learn that too. We all have to take a Karen Paris. We all.
Here's an example. Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me just read this comment right quick and I'll get right to you. We all have to take ownership. That's a fact. We got to take ownership. Go ahead, Julie. Yeah. Go ahead. What's your point? I'm sorry.
The scripture that came to mind was not the scripture, the story in the Bible about the guy that's by the pool waiting for somebody to put him in the pool. So one of the things that I always say to my community of women is stop waiting for somebody to put you in the pool when the pool is right there and all you got to do is step in. So that goes back to you must participate in your own rescue. Yeah. There is not always going to be 5 friends that's going to open up the roof and let you down into the house where Jesus is.
That's a fact.
It's not always going to work like that. There's going to be a time in your journey, because we're on a journey. Yeah. There's going to be a time in your journey when you have to walk it alone, because that process is your process. And nobody else you, except for Jesus, belongs to you. God isn't going to do the work for us. You must participate in your own rescue. You must.
That's so strong. That's so strong. So strong. Let me see. Karen Paris, absolutely partnership. Yeah. It's a deeper concept than just relationship. Relationship is all feely. Partnership is like, I might not like you today, but we got something to accomplish together. Change your perspective. A lot of people have fallen in love and with being the victim, and not the victor that Christ has called us to be. Very strong. It's some people love the victim position because it always makes people run to them. But I think it goes back to Julie's point. You got to participate in your own rescue. Sometimes you got to rescue yourself from being a victim. People have found safety in being a victim. Absolutely. Because they love the love that comes with their pain. There's a lot of people that love the love that comes with their pain. And you gotta hate being in that position, no matter who runs to you. Yes, Julia, participate in your own rescue. Bystanders get passed by. Ooh. Bystanders get passed by. Simple love is killing it tonight. Goodness gracious. Let me see. Step and roll and fall and just get in. That's it. That's it. That's such a good point. I used to teach that scripture as a pastor. And you know what I said? They said that the man was on cliffs, like he was up on the thing, and the pool was all the way down the bottom. You know what I said? Even if the man threw himself off, even if he broke something on the way down, when he hit that pool, he'd have been all right. And I think that the applicable point to our life is, even if you got to hurt yourself to change, it's okay, because healing is on the other side of that thing. I think sometimes we don't want to go through the pain of change. Change is attractive until you realize the pain that's attached to it. Everybody, I'm going to change. I'm going to lose this weight. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it's good until you feel the pain of change. And that's when people change their mind about change, because it's going to cost them something. Let me see. Simple love. Can I simply say, ladies, stop aligning ourselves to women who are always ill? All right, I'm out. Because right there, goodness gracious, great balls of freaking fire, man. Can I simply say, ladies, stop aligning ourselves to women who are always ill in spirit and emotionally?
That's good. That's good.
Such a great
Did
point.
Simple Love say that?
Simple love is
Who
kicking
said that?
it. Simple love. Simple love said that.
Girl. Listen. That's it right there.
Well, you know what? There's no way. You gotta get a beat. My God.
Get the bar, gotta drop the beat.
All day long. All day long. Let me see. You risk acquiescing to a state of being that is not yours, nor does it benefit your journey. You have to outgrow those women, and it's okay to walk away. Yes, I concur. It's okay. Sis, give yourself permission to walk away from old advice. Give yourself permission to walk away from old advice. And you know what? This is the thing. Some stuff that carried you to the door of the promised land are no good in the promised land. I want to say that. I really want, ladies, I want to get, because there's some attitude, some way of thinking. And it's not to say that way of thinking was bad. It's like Israel, when they went through the wilderness. God allowed them to keep that flesh hanging on them, right? But when they got to the door of the promised land, Joshua said, hey, everybody go get a stone and cut your flesh, because what was good for us to get us through the wilderness will hurt us in the promised land. So some things that brought you through will be no good once you get inside. I completely agree. Goodness gracious.
It's true, because the promised land is a different space, and it comes with different rules, and that's the part we don't like. Both men and women, we don't like the rules.
No, it's too costly. The rules cost us, and we ain't having it.
Somebody say selflessness. Selflessness.
Yes. Absolutely. Let me get back. Simple Love says she kicking it hard. She took a nap after work. That's why she on top of the game right now. I love it. Let me see. Change of perspective. Unlearn and relearn. Yes. Because a new lesson sitting on top of an old one gets confusing. It gets very confusing. Let me see. Karen Paris. Selflessness. selflessness. She's right. She's right. She's right on that. The other one, simple love, selflessness. Yes, absolutely, y'all. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification. I think we're gonna go live with the ladies. I'll have an invite show. I'll have a guest, but I think we're gonna go live on Wednesday nights for the ladies only, y'all. We're gonna do this because it's a space where we can talk and share, and I can give advice to the ladies, and hopefully Julia come back on with us one day. I gotta contact her people and see if her people will let
I don't
her
have
hang out.
people. I do not have people. Stop that.
Hang out with us
At
again.
least not yet.
There you go. There you go. Let's start wrapping this show up. I'm so enjoying it, y'all. We hit an hour. I usually would let this show go as long as it wants to go, but I worked all day. I had to teach leadership at 7 on Zoom, and now we're on this podcast. So I'm going to try to. I ain't even kicked my shoes off yet, so we're going to try to do a little wrapping up. Julie, let's go here and so we can wrap up. And the chat is still open, y'all. Y'all can still jump in the chat whenever you want. Question for you, Julie. What does healing look like when it comes to breaking a toxic attraction? What does healing look like as it pertains to breaking a toxic attraction? Ladies,
Like
if you
deep
ever had
work.
a toxic attraction, jump in the chat.
Healing looks like deep, deep work. Okay. You're going to need Jesus and a therapist. Okay. That's allowed. God allows it. Okay. You can't mess around with this. Because if you keep choosing if you keep going around the mulberry bush choosing a toxic person, you need some additional help. You can't walk that one out by yourself. And you really shouldn't. You really shouldn't. As a believer, don't do stuff by yourself. Jesus and a therapist. And in that space, you can't listen to your girlfriends.
You can't.
You can't listen to your girlfriend.
You better not. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Excuse me, everybody.
You can't listen to your girlfriend.
You better not. You better not.
You have to make sure that you that you need. Because a lot of ships for different reasons. So you can't play with that one. Toxic relationships is up there with narcissistic people. All right.
Yeah.
This is why I keep reiterating this. Own your stuff. Be truthful with you. Acknowledge. I have three A's. Acknowledge the thing. Accept the thing. Now take action, and then take action about the thing. Meaning, you got to get to the root cause of that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. You got to.
But you can't work and not choose somebody that's toxic. Got to do the work.
And you know what? I want to add to that too, Julie. I think that we all, and I give this advice to my sisters, you got to find out what in you attracts that thing. Because it's very easy to say he's toxic, he's this, he's that. You know, going to the point of our show tonight, what attracts you to the same guy in a different body, you got to find out what that thing is in you. You know, and I say the same thing to the brothers on the Dear Brother podcast. If you keep on connecting with the wrong type of women, it's not the women all the time. You're the common denominator. and
Yeah.
it's something in us, and a lot of times I'm gonna tell you, sometimes a lot of you sisters choose the wrong guy over and over again because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easier for you to just be the way you are. You don't want to be challenged out of it, because a certain man will challenge you out of the predicament you're in. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a lot of women who want a good man until they get one. Because it's one thing for a good man to take care of you and love you. It's another thing for a good man to become a mirror and challenge things in your life that you thought were amazing. That when you were dating a weak man, it was amazing. Because your weakness is amazing to a weak man. But a good one, he gonna see that weakness and help you straighten it out. And that is a big difference. Let me get back to the chat so we can try to wrap this hard to wrap this show up, y'all. We just having such a good time. You can't put new wine in old wineskin. I believe if we just learn to follow the Bible, the word of truth. I agree. Let me see. Baby, you gonna have to do the work. Amen. I would say Jesus deliverance therapist, Christian to give Jesus, and practical, and God ordained community. Amen. Let me see. Facts, Julie. Julie, listen, you're killing it tonight. I'm so honored to have you. Let me see. This is heavy. This is podcast worthy right here. And ladies, manipulation is witchcraft.
Ooh,
See, that's a whole nother podcast.
it is.
And because
And
it's so
is.
heavy, that gets a beat. My God.
That gets a beat.
Because some ladies think that's cute, I'm gonna tell you what it really is. What manipulation is. It's the gift of seduction. Every woman has it. Every woman was born. We think of the word seduce and it's such a bad word. Seduction is not a bad word. Seduction is a gift. It's about whether you submit it to God or whether you submit it to evil. It's just like water. You can drink it or drown in it. Like fire, you can cook with it or burn your house down with it. The element itself is not bad. It's how you use it. And I think a lot of women that want to control a man or control situations around her, even her children. There's a lot of women who will manipulate her own children. See, that's bad. But I think that knowing that seduction is a gift, the seduction is only the ability to persuade. That's all it is the ability to persuade. Why do you think Satan came to Eve with the fruit? Satan could have came straight to Adam with the fruit. He didn't, because he knew Eve's gift. Every woman has the gift to seduce. And so he said, you do it, because he won't listen to me. But when he see you walk through the door, he gonna consider this thing. Let me see.
Oh my
Yes. Why do
goodness.
I keep attaching the
Well,
same man? You got to have the hard conversation with the Lord so he can reveal and pull it up at the root. I'm going to say this, and y'all know I believe in the Lord wholeheartedly, but I'm going to tell you something right now. Sometimes there are times we over spiritualize things where we're looking for the Lord to do something that we need to call out ourselves because we know our patterns. Listen, there's some things I learned, y'all, that while we praying, just be honest. Because you've known yourself since the beginning of time. And this is not to disagree with Rashana. We got. I think what the Lord does is he softens us. He spiritually sensitizes us enough to have the conversation. But I'm gonna tell you right now, we can't over spiritualize some stuff. Some stuff don't need a prayer; it needs a confession. And sometimes we praying when we need to confess. Yeah. Let me see. Everyone has a narrative, a story, and as women, we invite the actor. Sheesh. Women discover your story, rewrite your story, and become the new. I gotta go. I mean, I gotta. Goodness.
stop it. Listen. I'm gonna say this real quick because Simple Love put it up there. You do not have to accept the invitation that is given to you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. This dude, for the ladies, this dude shows up. Listen, the red flags are not going to turn green because you ignore them. They won't and they don't.
Mm.
So if you accept the invitation, remember earlier in the broadcast we talked about
Mm-hmm.
choice. So when you choose, you have to own the choice and then you have to own the
Mm.
consequence. I'm going to let that rest on you
Mm.
while you go to sleep tonight. Talk to the Holy Ghost
Mm.
about that.
Sisters, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Julie, you were a gift tonight. Thank you so much. I want to leave the sisters with this thought.
Mhm.
In fact, it's a post on the Dear Sister podcast. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the Dear Sister podcast. I drop videos probably every other day and drop posts and everything. And again, we'll go live every Wednesday night for some brother sister advice. Um, but I'll leave you with this. It's a post that I put on Dear Sister. Healing begins the moment you stop running from yourself and finally
Mhm.
listen to what your soul's been trying to say to you. I'll say it again, sisters. Healing
That's good.
begins the moment you stop running from yourself and finally listen to what your soul's been trying to say to you. Um, Let me finish up these comments. We have to stop gaslighting ourselves. We be in heavy delusion. Listen, this show on Wednesday is just this community right here, Julie, is on top of
I
it. Yes,
love it.
Julie. Yes, me too. Ladies, if you know you need to do some internal work, stop dating. Stop taking the phone calls. Stop responding to DMs. Hey sis, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. It's such a good point. Let me bring something up. Go check out the this podcast. I put it up 8 days ago. His attention doesn't guarantee his intention. Go check out that podcast. I put it up 8 days ago. Go check out the video, y'all. It's right there. It's to that point. It's to that point what she's saying. Hey, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Such a brilliant show. Remember, every Wednesday night, we're going to go live on Dear Sister. I might call the show Brotherly Advice if we're not having a guest. Again, we'll make sure we have Julie back. She is obviously a favorite of the squad. So we make sure we bring her back. Julie, thank you so much, sister, for sharing your heart with the ladies tonight. I really appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. Look, if you need me here every Wednesday night, I'm going to come because
I
I
love it.
like this. Singleness
I love it.
2.0.
There you go. There you go. Julie, before you go, tell us how the ladies can connect with you, your socials and things like that.
Okay, so on Facebook, it's my name, Julie Husbands, like husbands and wives. On Instagram, it's Kingdom Citizen Network, Citizens, excuse me, Kingdom Citizens Network, all together on Instagram. Um, my website is being worked on again for the 50th time. Praise the Lord, saints. So as soon as that drops, I'll be able to share that with you all. I have a book called Dating with a Twist that I co-authored with one of my sister friends. It's a compilation of like about 6 years worth of talking about singleness and relationships, and we put it in the book. So you
I
can
love that.
find that on Amazon. It's called Dating with a Twist. Dating with a Twist. And on Sundays, second and fourth Sunday, I have a Singleness 2.0 community um, Zoom I host every 4th Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via Zoom. It is free. I will be posting that tomorrow. So um, if you want to follow me, Facebook is the place that I hang out the most. So Julie Husbands is my handle over there. Just type my name in, follow me, add me. And listen, let's do this. We were created for more than being somebody's wife. Okay?
Absolutely.
We've been created for more than being somebody's husband. So while we're single, in the meantime, there's stuff for us to do. So let's get it done.
Let's get it done. I'll make sure I put Julie's information in the description when I this will be posted tonight, but I'll make sure I put all of Julie's information in there. We got one more in the chat. Karen Paris, thank you both for sharing. Karen, thank you for being here with us tonight. Without y'all, it wouldn't be a show. Without our community, it would not be a show. Thank you so much. Y'all remember, every Wednesday night, we're going to go live for the ladies, and I'm going to add a segment on our show. We're going to have Julie back, y'all, and then we're going to have a segment. I think I want to have a segment on here called Brotherly Advice for the questions you all have about men. Because a lot of ladies do not understand men or trying to figure it out. And I want to have a session, a part of our show where we put it up maybe for about 10 minutes of the show where I just answer questions about what's this guy doing? What is this man doing? I'm dating this guy. What's going on? Brotherly Advice. We'll have that part. Hey, y'all. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Every lady needs that. The reason I started this show because there's too many ladies who don't have men in their life that want to give them something, needing nothing in return. And that's why I'm here. That's why I am your brother. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Make sure you go and grab Julie's book off of Amazon. Single with a Twist.
Dating with a Twist.
Dating with a Twist. I'll make sure we find the link and put it in the description, y'all. As well as go grab The Soul of Sarah on christianwinners.com. You can get that book tonight. And I'll make sure you have a signed copy. And one more thing, I have a free ebook up on my website too, christianwinners.com, Removing the Shame from Your Life. I taught a 3-part series on this and then decided to write the ebook. So Removing the Shame from Your Life, you go download that. You can have that right now on your phone, your iPad, or wherever you want it. Go check it out, y'all. This is your home, Wednesday nights, 8. Well, we'll be on time. Next Wednesday, I'll be free and not tied up with 1,000 things. But we'll be on from 8 to 9:15, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We really appreciate y'all. Listen, we love you. Make sure that you love you. Walk this life out, sisters, with no fear, no shame, and no compromise. And just like I tell the brothers, I'm going to end every podcast like we do over there. Yesterday is history, and tomorrow is a mystery. All you got is right now, sis. Live it up, live it loud. We love you. And